Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Tuesday, January the 22nd, 2013. We're going to be having a look today at Toronto Stock Exchange, also known as the TSX. And in this particular chart, we're looking at several months here, and you're looking at each one of the candles represents a single day of trading activity. And I want to show you a couple different variations on this chart. So we're going to start off looking at the daily chart, and then we'll move on to the weekly chart in a moment. The main thing here is to show that we have this previous point of resistance right here at the 1250 or 12500 level, and that has been broken out of. Okay, so that's an important little piece of the puzzle there, and you've got a new high here, so you're obviously in an uptrend. But you also have a low here, so this is an important little piece of the puzzle here. Whenever you have that scenario, you have higher highs and also lower lows, then you're going to be looking at a situation that's basically a sideways moving market. At that point, however, you anticipate the next pullback will give you a series of higher lows. So just say you were to pull back, we'll pull back to about this area, but when you do pull back, that's going to give you a series of higher highs, higher lows. You'd be a buyer of that pullback, and you have multiple ways of knowing that anyway. Simply the fact that you have a higher high at this point here, that your very next pullback, even if this were the all-time high, your very next pullback would have to test that previous high, so you then turn around and test it anyway. And even if you failed, that would still be a buy for this trade to the upside before she failed and then roll over. So it doesn't matter which way it plays out, you'd still buy the next pullback. And that's important because we're looking at the markets right now. We're saying that we believe the market's overextended. They can still push a little bit higher, but we don't think it's sustainable at this point. We're waiting for a pullback so we can get involved again. And that's when you want to be looking for situations that show real strong charts, that's something that you want to be looking to buy. Not everything that's making new highs or not everything that's necessarily been going up lately is something that I want to buy the next time it pulls back. I want to find something with a really strong chart. And like I said, this one has broken out of the previous high, and so that's important. But also, when we look at the longer term picture, which we'll do in a moment, you'll see that much more that's going to be telling you to buy this particular average as opposed to something else. So in this particular case here, with these previous highs now being taken out, we've broken out of that, meaning that we closed above it. We have this previous low point here is the strong support, or the primary, the major, and then we have, of course, the minor support right here. This will be tested. That means you rally up here, that's great, you can go as high as you'd like. Whenever you pull back, you're going to pull back down here and test where you found resistance before to see if it's now acting as support. Well, that'll be about in line with the 50-period moving average when that day happens. So you'll be finding probably a hammer candlestick formation on the 50-period moving average, the red line there, which is perfectly makes sense because you know that whenever you're in an uptrend, the best buy opportunities will be a hammer candlestick formation at or below the 50-period moving average. So that makes all perfect sense. However, do I go buy right now? No, because we're nice and overextended there, and I don't want to be doing that. Also, you'll notice the breakout here, very weak volume. Let me pull this down here and show you that. All right, move that back up there a bit. Okay, you can see right here we have volume to the upside that's not all that strong. So again, not something that I'm all that dying to get involved of at this level. No, I will wait for a pullback. Okay, moving on to the longer term picture here at the Toronto Stock Exchange, you can see that we've had this nice little wedge formation developing here. Previous actual resistance was here, and now we are closing above that. Now this candlestick is still being formed, so we don't know that we've closed above just yet. On Friday we'll know if we actually close above it or not, but for now we are flirting like we're going to, and we also have this little uptrend line here indicating that buy pressure is growing from this point to this point to this point, and sell pressure was not actually increasing. We were able to come up here, hit this point, pull back, hit this point again, pull back, and then now we're hitting it again. So we can see that buyers are increasing here, and sell pressure is actually weakening because we're actually taking it out now. Once we close above that, meaning this candlestick, because this is a weekly candlestick, once Friday comes and we close above that, then you have a breakout, and that's important because your next line of resistance is where you're going to stop at. And next line of resistance was this previous high point here, so you can actually just measure this out, 13,500. That's where your next line in the sand is going to be. That's where you're going to find resistance. So you can look at this and say, we're going to run up here and test 13,500 level. So that's important, and that's why we're looking at this chart as something that, given a pullback, I'd be interested in buying. For those of you who don't know this yet, you can go and visit the website at PerfectStockAlert.com to find the charts on all the major markets we track for you. Both the long-term and the shorter term charts are kept there with my annotations on there, so you can view any one of the charts that we track for you at PerfectStockAlert.com. On the home page you'll find them there, and I recommend you check them out because that one chart that I showed you today is only one. There are a couple others that are setting up as well, commodities in particular, so I'd recommend you check those out. If you've not been to the free website at PerfectStockAlert.com, it's right there. It's 100% free, and all we ask in return, please refer a friend. God bless. Take care. See you in the next one. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.